people. Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all doing today? Are back. We are officially back for our next level chefs. Four. Season four, episode nine is over, but I'm just getting started. About to start doing this recap. How are you guys doing on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday? I just want to apologize again for being a little delayed. What happened this weekend? Why am I delayed? I am delayed because instead of what did why am I delayed? What happened Monday? I think I just had a busy Monday. Mm, yeah, y'all. I don't even know why I'm delayed. So I apologize. I am delayed. I know what happens is like if I don't get started doing my notes on Monday, then I'm not gonna be ready for Tuesday. So that's on me. I want to apologize. I'm not gonna waste no time. I can't remember why I was delayed. So we're just actually gonna just go ahead and get right on to it. This right away, just talking a little bit about this week episode. I really enjoyed this week episode of Next Level Chef. They did something different. It was a tournament. Because we are no longer in teams. So I actually like really enjoyed that. Um, so let's go ahead and just get into this. I'm not gonna waste anybody's time. I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. Um, because I need to always make sure I'm just looking at myself, chat. Let's go ahead and just get into this. I'm not gonna waste anybody's time. I wish that I could all right, anyways. All right, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Next Level Chef, season four, episode nine, the Thunder Bowl. A little bit about me. My name is Honest Am. I am the creator of Dear Showrunners, Honestly Sis, and Honestly Sis, the podcast. The best way to support me or this channel is to like, comment, or subscribe. If you're really interested in knowing more about me, please make sure you check out www.honestlysis.com. All right, you guys already know our mentors. We got Chef Nyesha Arrington, Chef Gordon Ramsay, as well as Chef Richard Blais. And this week's challenge is all about the Thunder Bowl, Thunderdome. So this week we learned that we are in no more teams. Now we are in an individual challenge, and to determine where each individual will start their next level chef journey, they have to cook in kind of this cooking tournament, which I actually really love because in past seasons, what end up happening is that the judges just decide, okay, based on all of your cooking and what you have done in the competition, this is where you will end up. So last season, they closed out the top level and only had the middle and the bottom level, and then they just divided the chefs up between the middle and the bottom level, which I mean, it makes sense and it kind of feels as though every dish that you make um, has a purpose and is going to get you somewhere. But I really actually love so much this journey. Thank you so much. Is somebody giving me a heart? Hi. Thank you for liking the video. Are you watching Next Level Chef? Please make sure you go ahead and put your comments down in the box. So we are losing the competitions, and as soon as Gordon says that there will be no more challenges, which we kind of got an idea that that was going to end up happening because before anything started, the first thing that Blaze talked about with Megan is like, I love how feisty you have been in this competition. He asked her who is she cooking for. She says that she's cooking for her family, her two little boys. And then Naisha asked Becca, who is she cooking for? And I really her answer. And Becca said, I spent a lot of my life doing things for other people, and this competition is really for me to learn, to grow, and to learn from the best. So I really love that. And then Gordon said that they're not going to be in teams anymore. And as soon as they said that, Brandon separated himself from Megan and Austin, and I just knew right away, like, oh, Brandon. Like Brandon went from not doing like from doing nothing at all to doing too much. And so right away they learned that everybody is going to start at the top level. So that means there are going to be 9 contestants grabbing at this platform. I was really worried about Bobby positioning because Bobby was like all the way off to the side. Um, but he was all the way off to the side. But actually, I really loved where he was because he got to kind of skip the crowd and go all the way around and get to the platform. And so when we get into this grab, I mean, it was crazy. Like it was, they were like fighting and they were fighting. Beatrice and Megan is going for the same red prawns. We got Becca, who is just such a little tiny little baby, who's just trying to get something. She's like literally the shortest person there. Oh, before they even get they first get on the top level, they have to, figure out where they're going to cook at. And, and Becca ends up sharing her space with Brandon, who's like the shortest and the tallest. Brandon picked her up and kind of, act like he was pushing her off to the side. But then we get into this grab and they're just going for it. I was really nervous about Bobby position. I talked about that. Megan and Beatrice going over these prongs, going at it. Beatrice said, "Oh hell no, bitch!" So she ends up getting those prongs, leaving Megan with this duck breast that she has to deal with. Um, you can just tell that everybody is focused, everybody is pumped. Austin was really excited about getting this Wagyu steak. And uh, Brandon, he grabbed that lobster right away, which Gordon was actually really nervous about him doing the lobster. He said it's not the best pick and it can be very picky. And so as they're starting to work together, Beatrice, they have 20 minutes to make a next level dish. And so Beatrice and Austin has decided to make a pact that they're going to they're going to work together. And so we got to see little images of them saying, "Right behind you, chef," and this. And Austin is just so pumped. He's like, "This is the life I chose. I chose to act like I'm still like I'm still in the kitchen and all this good stuff." And Bobby is just being super extra, trying to do pasta in 20 minutes. Megan never cooked a duck breast before, and Gordon says that the duck is having its own funeral, which kind of frustrates her. And Bobby tells her like, "Just take a deep breath, you got it." Which Brandon out of nowhere is like, Bobby, stop that shit, stop that pep talk shit, man. Like we're all trying to get the top dish, and like I just knew right away that Brandon attitude was gonna fuck him up because it's like, okay, Brandon, you can. It's one thing for you to be super focused and to be like, okay, the teams are over, but it's another thing for you to go out of your way. I hope he was bullying Bobby a little bit. Is that just me? Comment down below. Did you feel like Brandon was like like bullying Bobby? But anyway, so then Ryan got another damn fish, which I was like, Ryan, goddamn, like how many fishes are you gonna cook? He gets a cook, he get a fish dish. Everybody is trying to come up with a puree, which Richard says purees are supposed to be smooth. If it's not smooth, don't call it a puree. A puree. Arnav has these scallops, but the problem is that he is having these spices that he wants to cook on the scallops, which he had these spices in the pan and they got really, really burnt. And so even when he finished his dish, they end up having this little burnt flavor because of those spices in the pan. Austin and Beatrice, I mean, out of the entire cook, Austin and Beatrice was in the best mood by the time it was time for us to get towards the end. And so here's a beautiful picture of everybody from the next level. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 beautiful dishes here. All the way at the top, you will see this was Ryan's salmon dish, which Richard said that that was the best cooked salmon that he's had on this competition. But his cauliflower rice was not really done well. Then we had Natalie making a beautiful sirloin steak with I think I want to say potato puree with truffles. And they just said that it all kind of felt like it was just all of the dishes was melting in on each other. And we have to note that Natalie does not cook these type of deals, these type of meals. Natalie is definitely more of a Latin chef, so I was very excited that she was stepping outside of her comfort zone. Next up, I want to say that that was Megan's duck breast. And then we have Becca's beautiful tuna braised pan seared tuna. These are those are the top. Pan-seared tunas, Bobby Turbo pasta. And then as we start going up, we start going up. The first dish here is Brandon's lobster dish with some type of was it a raspberry, cranberry, some type of sauce he had with it. Then we have Arnav, his scallops. Then Beatrice red prawns with this, I think it's called carbonelli pasta, and then of course Austin Wagyu. The top dishes out of this level was Austin's Wagyu steak, Beatrice red prongs, which Richard said that they were AI level intelligence on the ingredients, but Gordon told her to be very mindful with all of those different type of salty ingredients. Which to me, I'm like, did it taste salty? Like I don't know, like I just feel like I just feel like they want Beatrice to win. Like I'm like, is this dish really good, or do y'all just want to push her? Like y'all just want her to win because she's young. And then because like even if you look at it visually, her dish is like number two in the second row or three in the second row, whatever. It don't look visually pleasing. Like it's not a good dish, and I really thought that Becca pan-seared tuna should have got it because Richard literally said that that was one of the best dishes. So I thought from the top level it was going to be Austin, Becca, and maybe Beatrice. But what ended up happening is it just was Austin and Beatrice. And Ryan was pissed, which I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all? Ryan is tired of Beatrice winning. And he was like, I'm tired of her winning. She's just a little kid. That is literally what he said. And so since we only have two winners from the top level. That means that our other seven has to go down. Oh, and I talked about Brandon Lobster. They have to go down to the middle level and start all over again. And so now we are setting up for the middle level kitchen. Once again, same mission. You have to just make the best dish that you can make. You can just make you have to make the best dish that you can make. They got 20 minutes to make a next level dish. I told you Ryan was pissed about Beatrice. Bobby, as they're standing up, he tell everybody, I love you. Brandon says, shut the fuck up, which which Nyesha said, Brandon. But again, it's like Brandon, stop picking on fucking Bobby. If I was Bobby, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like you shut the fuck up. It would have been some like Real Housewives of Atlanta. You shut the fuck up. Don't you shut the fuck up. Like I swear, I just wish that Bobby would say something. But Bobby has just such this sweet, like disposition. Is that a word? Is that a word? Disposition. He just has such a sweet personality that you can tell that he is like letting it roll off his skin. But I was personally annoyed. Like I would have been like, no, you fuck off. But then we get to the grab. Arnav falls as soon as they go off. Bobby being Bobby ends up helping him out. Austin is geeking out in the fucking in the lounge because like, oh, I get to watch people do their thing. Beatrice is also she's having fun. First thing Ryan do is he grabs some ground veal, which I was like, okay, good job, Ryan. It's not fish, but I feel like Ryan has made ground veal before. Like I'm pretty sure I can go back in these PowerPoints and point out that he made this veal dish before. But Beatrice is like, Brian got it. He's focused. He has a vision. Um, Becca, she ends up getting another sea bass, which she said she didn't want. But she's gonna figure it out anyway. Um, in the in the lounge, Beatrice and Austin said that Becca is a dark horse and that she's really starting to get it. So I'm so glad that everybody is starting to see that Becca is low key that girl. And I wonder if Becca is going to be like the season one winner. Like I really want to go all the way back and see how those different episodes panned out. But I still got my eye on Becca because Becca is just doing so well. She's cooking spectacular. I really thought that Becca should have been on that top level, but it's fine. Brandon goes for this pork chop, which he ends up burning. It's like Brandon does not learn from our knob mistake, and it makes me think like, do they not listen to the opinions of others? Because I mean, the opinions or the feedback that the other contestants get. Because the first thing that Gordon said is because you had all of those spices in the pan, it ends up creating this burnt flavor. So you have to be very careful of that in the future. And so then Brandon goes and he makes this pork chop and I put some type of chili powder in it and it ends up burning his pan. And so his pork chop comes out like it's burnt. And so it's like, Brandon, listen to what these people are saying. Ryan is super focused on his veal. He was charring some mozzarella, and then when Nyesha ended up tasting it, she was just like, "What is this tasty, this salty taste in it?" So he knew right away that his dish was salty, but he didn't pivot. He didn't try to make it better. I don't know what happened. Maybe he ran out of time. Bobby, he was a little frantic on this dish, but I mean, a little frantic on his dish, but he got himself some cod, and he talked about how he was going to just pan sear it and then let the rest of it cook in the oven, so that way it'll be well done without it being overcooked. And then Natalie ends up grabbing. What did Natalie grab this round? Let's just go get to the dishes. Natalie, what did she grab? What did Natalie make? I know Megan had those squids that she ended up dropping it in a salt in that salt, so they came out very salty. Are not, I don't know what the hell did that. Oh, Natalie made these chicken thighs, and basically she just made chicken thighs and a potato salad. And so I was wondering if like Natalie was like starting to lose her steam a little bit. Was this tournament a little bit too much for her? I'm curious about that. So out of this round, our top dishes is of course Becca and her beautiful sea bass. I don't really like this picture that much, but this was the only picture that they gave us. Um, that the show really gave us a good, clear profile of all of these dishes. And so you see Becca dish all the way over here in this corner with that bright green salad. So it had like some beautiful Asian flavors. I love that instead of her frying her Brussels sprouts, she ended up shaving them and put them in the salad. I personally never thought about that. Like I've had a salad with Brussels sprouts in it, but I never thought to do it myself. So I'm like, putting that in the back of my mind, like, I'm gonna have to come back to that and try that myself. Arnav, he made this pork. He made this sirloin, this beef sirloin with mushroom grits, which I thought that was very interesting. During his cook, there was a time where he felt really comfortable with his corn salad and like cooking his meat really well. But then he had put his meat in the oven and he forgot to close the door. Clearly, it did not mess up his dish, and he ended up doing something great. Bobby did this beautiful veal dish. I forgot what it was called, but there was something about the flavors where Gordon says that it may seem very simple, but he really made it something of his own. And then Ryan made this veal bolognese that was just extremely salty, but I really love that idea of the I really love the idea of that the charred mozzarella. That just sounded very, very good. One thing that I will say, what did Brandon, his dish, he had like a vegetable, he had like a pea puree and some broccolini, like all of these things. And what the judges or the mentors end up saying is that they wish that his protein would have been a fish versus it being this like pork. So I guess they said like it just kind of was a mismatch pairing. And so out of this level, who ends up staying is Becca, Arnab, and Bobby, taking everybody else down to the third level, which ends up being sudden death. And so in this third level, of course, they were keeping it cute, still keeping it with not the best ingredients. And so for the grab, what we end up getting is Brandon ends up getting a can of spam, a can of spam. Natalie gets chicken bits, which I thought that was a pretty, like she had a pretty good dish, but she got some chicken bits, but she forgot to get a starch. Megan got a salmon tail, and Ryan got beef strips, which he turned into a beef stroganoff. And so, in the last round, here are our beautiful dishes. As you can see, Natalie beef strips. I think she made like a ragu, but then she put cream spinach at the bottom, and so it was like too many soft dishes on top of each other. I'm not sure why she did that. I don't know. Like, I'm not. Maybe she needed a starch. They said she needed a starch there, so maybe some rice, maybe some noodles, something, potatoes, something. In the middle, right here is we have Ryan beef stroganoff dish. Uh, Ryan beef stroganoff dish. Then we have Megan. I don't know, grilled salmon salad. I don't know what that is. And then Brandon made us this. this Asian salad with the spam. And Gordon just talked about how well he kind of pivoted and he created this dish and without even with the salty salmon, salty salmon the salty spam. He ended up finding a way to make it work. Brandon was so funny when he was like dealing with the spam, and he was talking about the noise that it make, and it does make this really like it makes this very nasty noise. But I do want to point out that Brandon said, when he went from the middle level to the bottom level, he's like, "This is supposed to be a great day." And y'all have to realize Brandon won the top dish last week. And so technically, Brandon was coming in thinking that this was his time to be at the top level kitchen. And when he heard everybody had to start at the top level kitchen, he was pissed. So, like, Richard Blais' team never even got a chance to be at the top. And so I do get how that could kind of throw Brandon off, but I am glad that he ended up pivoting and saving himself. And so Ryan did this beef stroganoff dish, which when he was cooking, I was really, really nervous about his pasta. He kind of dropped it a little bit late, but I love that he knew, okay, take 8 minutes to get it to al dente. He knew that he was going to be cutting it to the wire. He was stirring like crazy. Everybody in the lounge thought that it was not done properly. Also in the lounge, they were talking about Megan Dish, especially Beatrice. Beatrice was talking big shit about Megan Dish. She was just like, I mean, what is she doing? It's grilled salmon. It's grilled this. What is she making? And then they were like, oh yeah, that makes me think about a BLT. And I feel like Bobby was trying to ask Austin like, who do you think is going to win? And Austin was like, yeah, I want a BLT too. Austin like was totally like not trying to talk shit with Bobby at all. And so Megan and her crispy salmon grilled. I don't know what the hell this is called. And Natalie had her chicken bites. And what ended up happening is that Brandon, Ryan, and Megan saving themselves. And Natalie went home. And unfortunately, I didn't want her to go home. Y'all know how much I love Natalie. But this round, she just did not. She put out three bad dishes. Like, for some reason, Natalie was struggling. And I wonder if that's just because she was out of her comfort zone and she was trying to expand herself and she really didn't have anywhere to go. But Nyesha ended up crying when she said goodbye to Natalie. And she talked about how honorable it was that she takes care of her family and she's always there for them. She just loved how she dedicate that to them. And Natalie just had such a great attitude. She said food is life and this will not be the end of her cooking. I personally would love for her to, maybe Natalie do some pop-ups. I don't know if she has a dream of having a restaurant, but I would love to eat some of her tamales and some of her tacos. Like I would just love it, especially that barbecue dish that she made. Um, I would just love it. And one thing that Natalie said kind of in her little package was that, her family, they had to make very simple meals with, whatever they can afford. Um, Simple but very tasty meals. And I was just so sad to see Natalie go. But now we are officially in a race for who would be the next level chef. So we start off, we have Austin and Beatrice in the top kitchen. Then we have at the bottom, I mean, in the middle kitchen, we have Bobby, Arnab, and Becca. And then at the bottom, we have Brandon, Ryan, and Megan. And I know Ryan, I was talking so much shit about Ryan, and I was worried about him when he didn't have a fish dish, but Ryan ended up turning around. And I'm so excited to see him and Brandon climb their way to the top. Megan as well. I do believe in her. I do think that she's good, but also Megan she put out like low key three subpar dishes as well. And so if I let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts. So that's why this episode was actually I thought it was gonna be hard to review. Sorry, I thought it was gonna be hard to review because of the tournament, but it was actually one of our easier episodes to review. So our life advice. I mean, I guess the easiest one. I mean, I got two things. We didn't get anything too pressing this week. But I want to say Naisha said, don't make any silly mistakes. Don't go down without a fight. And stand tall and be confident. And that she said that to Becca as she was cooking. And I think that's just something for all of us. Like when you are in a high pressure situation, just try your best to breathe, because if you stop breathing, that's going to stop you from thinking and you're going to start, being in more of a frantic mode. But if you could just take a moment to just breathe, center yourself, and then go, you will be so much better and it will help you stop from making silly mistakes. And I mean, mean, that advice of not going down in a fight, I mean, that's every one of us. I don't know about you, but I've been working on my book for the last 10 years and I can get frustrated. And, part of me wish that it was done already, but also I know that there's nothing else I want to do more in the world than create this book. A part of me, because it's been taking so long and because I haven't got the best feedback, it makes me feel like, okay, once I do this draft, like, am I gonna submit? Am I gonna do this? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna submit because I'm not going out without a fight. I worked on this book for 10 years and I could have turned around and been like, I'm not gonna do it. But this book has taught me how to write, it has taught me how to express myself, and I'm not going down without a fight. And so I think that's the same thing with you. And also the same thing with if you are in the United States, like we have a lot going on. And if you are a person that look like me with this color skin, I don't think that when you say go down without a fight, I don't think that means that you need to be in these protests because we have already decided the 92% will not be involved in any protesting. But individually, like just because all this stuff is going on in the world, that don't mean you stop going after your dreams. That don't mean you stop working towards things. That don't mean you stop trying to build your business. You have to keep moving and keep grooving and refuse to go down without a fight. Like, fuck these people. Evil will not win this world. I don't care how much they try to scare us and to make us feel like, this is the end of the world. The world would be over before this motherfucker would be over, okay? We will be off this world before the world is over. And so I just tell all of y'all, like, don't let the noise, don't let the negativity get to you. Keep fighting for love, keep fighting for freedom. And don't go down without a fucking fight, okay? These billionaires are not gonna get the last laugh. I promise you they not. Mentor beef. Really no updates on the mentor beef this week. They really had to work. They had to like overly work. They didn't really interact with each other a whole lot. Richard was like Richard had the most work to do, and I think that's because he hasn't won the season yet. But he had to do the top level kitchen, and he was running around, and he was like, "It's just like a mama with a lot of like a lot of babies. Somebody ain't gonna get mama milk." So cute episodes of the mentors. I do hope that they keep this tournament going and that this is not the last time that we see it. Predictions. My predictions is that Megan will probably be out next week. We probably will lose Megan. I do predict that Becca is just gonna keep doing well. I want to see her rise to the second floor. I want to see Beatrice fall to the second floor. And I want to see Brandon rise up to the middle. Him and Ryan. That's who I'm really rooting for. I'm really rooting for I'm the three people that I'm rooting for at this point is Becca, Brandon, and with my minor is my RF. But he's just so quiet. I feel like we don't hear anything from him. He's just like so quiet. And have you noticed that he kind of talk out the side of his mouth a little bit, kind of like a cartoon character? Very cute but funny. All right, y'all. That is it for this week's episode. It wasn't that long. We didn't have a whole bunch to talk about, but I do hope that you love this. I will be back next Tuesday. I will be back next Tuesday for real. Um, yeah, I still don't know why I was late this week. I don't know, y'all. I really don't know why I was late. So I apologize. But we will be back at it next level Tuesday. Make sure that you're following me, like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn more about me and my healing journey or read any of my writing, please check out www.honestlysis.com. And that is all I have for you guys. Anybody in the chat want to talk about next level show? Anybody in here? Is anybody in here? All right, no. All right, y'all. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Remember, guys, nobody is like you, and that is your fucking superpower. So get out there and go work on your dreams. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.